Today is February the 9th. Today we look at the battle between Israel's forces and King Jabin of Hazor. Israel wins. How? Let's find out together as we study the end of chapter 4. So Barak is told by Deborah that he is to prepare an army and go and fight against King Jabin of Hazor and Sisera's huge army. Judges 4 verse 8, Barak told Deborah, "I'll go, but only if you go with me." "Very well," she replied, "I'll go with you, but you will receive no honor in this venture, for the Lord's victory over Sisera will be at the hands of a woman." So Deborah went with Barak to Kadesh. Here in these few verses, we see Deborah prophesies that a woman will actually deliver Israel. We kind of expect that that woman is going to be Deborah, just because of the way things are going. Verse 10, at Kadesh, Barak called together the tribes of Zebulun and Naphtali, and 10,000 warriors went up with him, and Deborah also went up with him. So the army is arranged, and we have 10,001 people who go. The warriors and Deborah. Verse 11 is sort of a parenthetical statement. Now Heber the Kenite, a descendant of Moses' brother-in-law Hobab, had moved away from the other members of his tribe and pitched his tent by the oak of Zananim near Kadesh. The Kenites had taken up residency in the land of Simeon and Judah, all the way in the south. That was much closer to where they lived. But in a parenthetical statement here, one man, Heber of the Kenite tribe, not an Israelite tribe, moves way up in the north. You're kind of left to wonder why, and what does that have to do with this story? We'll find out. Verse 12, when Sisera was told that Barak, son of Abinoam, had gone up to Mount Tabor, he called for all of his army, all 900 of his iron chariots, and all of his warriors, as we mentioned, about 20,000 infantrymen. They marched from Harosheth Hagoyim to the Kishon River. The lines of battle are drawn. And it's specified that they went by the Kishon River. Why? Tomorrow we'll find out more of the why. But let's keep reading in this passage. In verse 14, the battle starts. Deborah said to Barak, "Get ready. This is the day the Lord will give you victory over Sisera, for the Lord is marching ahead of you." And then very simply and without fanfare, Barak led his 10,000 warriors down the slopes of Mount Tabor into battle. When Barak attacked, the Lord threw Sisera and all his chariots and warriors into a panic. Sisera leaped down from his chariot and escaped on foot. Then Barak chased the chariots and the enemy army all the way to Harosheth Hagoyim, killing all of Sisera's warriors. Not a single one was left alive. Now it's interesting, we're told the results of the battle, but we're not told how. And the question of how just sort of mystifies us. How did Israel's 10,000 warriors defeat an enemy with over 20,000 warriors, including state-of-the-art weaponry, iron chariots? We'll find out tomorrow as we begin to read Deborah's song. Today it's enough to know that Israel defeated Sisera's army. We pick it up again in verse 17. Meanwhile, Sisera ran to the to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, because Heber's family was on friendly terms with King Jabin of Hazor. Jael went out to meet Sisera and said to him, "Come into my tent. Come in, don't be afraid." So he went into her tent. She covered him with a blanket. "Please give me some water," he said. "I'm thirsty." So she gave him some milk from a leather bag and covered him again. "Stand at the door of the tent," he told her. "If anyone comes and asks you if there's anyone here, say no." So Sisera goes into Heber's tent. Heber had made peace with the people of the land, not only Israel, but also King Jabez of Hazor. Now, the reason he could do that was because he didn't have a city. He simply lived in a tent. He represented another tribe from far away, so it was easy to make peace with the residents of the land. When Sisera fell asleep from exhaustion, Jael crept quietly up to him with a hammer and a tent peg in her hand. She drove the tent peg through his temple into the ground, and he died. Barak comes looking for Sisera. Jael says, "Come on in, I'll show him to you." When Barak comes into her tent, he finds Sisera dead on the tent floor. Verse 24, from that time on, Israel became stronger and stronger against King Jabin until they finally destroyed him. After that initial battle in which Jabin's army and his army commander Sisera were defeated, Israel's victory over Jabin was gradual. The point today, God provided unusual resources for a gradual victory over the enemy. Not all of the victories that we have over whatever is facing us will come quickly. Today, open your eyes to look at the resources that are around you and recognize that your victory, your success, may not come from one moment to the next. It may be a gradual victory that's won step by step, not in a single jump. Look to God. Look to the resources that He provides you. Be willing to accept small victories that will lead you to peace. Please go to whatever program you use to listen to this presentation and like, follow, or subscribe. If you like what you heard, share it with your friends. If you have questions, send those to me at questions@becomehope.com. Tomorrow, we'll look at Deborah's song.